This video is for educational purposes only. Do not try any of this at home. All things shown are legal under the 2018 Farm Bill. Please enjoy the video.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy J1 back at you with another video. Today I'm here in my new setup. We finally moved. If you guys watched our last video here on the channel, I talked about that we were going to be moving to a new place, and here we are, the new setup, the new location, and so we're going to get cracking with a brand new video. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a review on a product. However, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to be doing it fresh out of the box, brand new. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the new Puffco Peak Pro after owning it for 1 year. I'm going to be talking about different things about it, how to use it. We're going to talk about the goods, the pros, the cons, and we're also going to be getting into a lot of different things and also showing you how it works as well. So let's go ahead and get into this. Without further ado, guys, let's check out the new Puffco Peak. So right off the bat, I want to make a quick little disclaimer about this. The glass may not be the cleanest in this, but that is why I'm disclaiming that I'm showing this a year after owning it. I've had this Puffco Peak for 1 year. I've used it pretty heavily, almost daily, at least once or twice throughout every single day within the last year. And it is a little bit on the dirty side. Now, that is not me just being negligent and not cleaning it. I do clean this thing pretty frequently. However, it just kind of gets discolored. The glass is getting a little discolored. And after a year, I think it is genuinely time for a new piece of glass on here. And right away, I do gotta say that that is a pro about the new Peak. And honestly, Puffco in general, the aftermarket glass has been insane. You can find some crazy super heady glass for these things for crazy prices, or you can even find cheap ones for fairly affordable prices. So with that being said, I apologize that the glass is not the cleanest. That's just what we're gonna have to deal with today. So the new Peak is fairly similar to the original Peak as well as the Peak Pro, where all you do is you drop your concentrates into the chamber here, double click the button, and it's preheating and it's warming up, preparing for your hit. So it's really simple to use, and it's not really non-user friendly, I should say. Now, the new Peak is not like the Peak Pro in a way where you can fine tune your temperatures and adjust the heat that you want specifically. This one comes with preset heat. So we've got the blue setting here, which is the lowest setting. Up 1 is green. Red, which is a little warmer, gives you bigger clouds. This is roughly where I like to hit it, green or red, depending on how I'm feeling. And then you have the top heat setting, the white setting. I don't hit white very often just because I feel like it's kind of a waste, and it does the exact same thing as the red, in my opinion. The red setting gives you really good clouds, it gives you really good flavor, and a overall really great dab. And going up 1 to the white setting, I've noticed, just doesn't really do much else to your hit, but it does kill your battery quicker. One thing about the new Peak that I've noticed is the chamber. As you can see, I have the baby blue Peak with a black chamber. Now, the black chamber is a replacement chamber because within the first 4 to 5, maybe 6 months, about halfway through the year, this chamber actually had the top joystick piece come off and officially break and come off of the Puffco. That is one thing that I have noticed with use over time with these new Peaks, is this little silicone piece right there where your joystick is being held on. Over time, that tends to wear down and eventually it'll rip and just come apart from the constant folding of it, like so. But the chambers are replaceable. You can buy pieces for it. If you do have something break, you can replace the pieces. The chamber that I currently have is the original Puffco one, which is the regular 3D chamber for the Peak. However, there are a couple aftermarket ones. There is a 3D XL style chamber like the Peak Pro has, that is from an aftermarket company called 3 Grams, I believe. I'll put kind of their Instagram up here on the screen right here and kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. But the aftermarket stuff on the Peak is just as good as the Peak Pro, I would say. You can get different chambers, you can get different toppers for your joystick, you can get different glass, you can get all sorts of different things, lots of different things under the sun that you can do with this. So I think we've kind of talked about this thing. It's a fairly simple, very reliable piece. I really don't have much else to say about it other than it hits really well. The battery lasts quite a while. The chamber is one thing that I would like to see maybe a change in the way that they make them, maybe the material they make them with. Just with that silicone piece falling apart, it kind of sucked because the chamber was still in really good condition and I could still use it pretty well, but the joystick was not attached. So without further ado, guys, I think we go ahead and just take a few rips of this and show you guys how it works. We've got our rosin loaded up in here and we're gonna go ahead and start heating it up. We're smoking some live rosin THCA from Diesel Hemp Company. So shout out to Diesel Hemp Company. You guys got some pretty good quality stuff. So let's go ahead and start with a little green one. We're gonna show you guys the lower temperature, the cloud production that it gets, and then we'll even bump up the temperature for another dab as well. So let's let this thing preheat and let's get into it. Our rosin is Straw Guava Mints, by the way. Cheers, everybody. So as you can see, pretty good dab for the green setting, for the low setting. Definitely hits you just a little bit, makes me cough slightly just a little bit, but not too crazy of a hit, nothing that I couldn't handle. We're gonna reload and I'm gonna show you guys now the red setting real quick. So I've got this reloaded and it's ready to go, and I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how this thing really works. So as you can see back here, there is the LED strip that indicates your heat and if it's powered on or heating, and that's on the back. On the front, there is the little power button right here. All you need to do to actually start it, double click it twice, and it's gonna start preheating, and it's going to vibrate when it's ready, and then we can start hitting it. So let's go ahead and wait it out. Let's wait for it to vibrate here, and here we go. Cheers, everybody, on the red setting. Oh yeah, that's hitting really nice. I really do love this thing. It's honestly so nice. Real quick, I wanted to go ahead and just talk about the price of this thing. So I understand that e-rigs and different things like that can get a little pricey, which is always kind of a problem that I've had when it comes to them. I've never really been able to afford some of them because they're really crazy expensive and it's just not something I can do all the time, you know what I mean? But this is a super good alternative to the Peak Pro. I think it matches the Peak Pro perfectly. I don't really think there's anything that you can do to change this to make it any different or any better other than maybe the chamber. But like I said, you can get those aftermarket ones that are like 3D XL size, and you can get the real actual chambers, which is cool. But this thing's only $220, and I think that's pretty justifiable. The Peak Pros are, I believe, $420, which is essentially double the price. So it's just something to keep in mind if you want to buy a Puffco. Don't just say, oh, I'll never be able to get one because I can't afford it because it's $400. They have this, and I know they have other devices that are super small and like compact and everything. Like the Proxy is one that I would love to buy, which is like the little wizard pipe. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll pop a picture up right here and show you. But yeah, I want one of those so bad. But I do love this Peak. I think for $220, this is probably the best bang for your buck that you're going to be able to get when it comes to a e-rig. And I think it's just a no-brainer. If you can afford a Puffco and get one, get one. I think they're worth it, personally. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Puffco 1 year later review. I really enjoyed putting it together. I've been wanting to make a review on the Peak for a little while now, but I was gonna wait until I hit about a year or so I could give you guys the pros or the cons and really just talk about how good of a device I think it personally is. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at J1Media, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you all for watching. Peace out.